and welcome to tonight's episode of Plight Princes. Where last we left off, the party had remained in Neverwinter, having traveled around most of Faerun in the search of the Spires of Lakith, objects that were ejected after a assault by the Githyanki on the city of Neverwinter. In addition, the party learned that through somebody who was returned to them, it is likely that the Gith have been doing this to not only multiple planes, but also multiple dimensions, and have affected other forms of material planes. The party then decided to request aid in scrying on a location nearby, or very, very far away, to attempt to collect a spire which would have a long time to begin harnessing more and more necrotic energy from the zones around it and the effects around it. In doing so, they found that the area where this was, there was no spire, and the corpse of a fire giant who previously harried one of the parties in a previous campaign was no longer there. This of course has plenty of problems, where the party realizes that someone like that is alive, undead, and swinging around whatever weapons he might have had previously in life would be terrible for anyone involved. They did, however, want to attempt, I believe, to unravel one of the spires of Lakith they currently had in their possession. But to do so, they would need a safe location for all that energy to disperse. So, they planned to go to a pocket dimension. The pocket dimension of one Roman Nomerin, who was the party warlock from a previous campaign, and Wittick's pseudo-father, I think is the easiest way to say.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Pseudo-father.
Pseudo-father / mechanic.
Pinocchio's father,
/
basically.
crackhead uncle.
More Mega Man, I would feel.
Is he
Oh my
Dr.
god,
Wily?
you
He's
are
Dr.
Minion.
Wily.
Oh no.
Wait till he beats Zalto
Guys, can I
and
have a
absorbs the
blaster?
power.
I'm goodbye.
You so good! No! I gave you wings. I was going to give you something else so you could go boop, boop.
No, I think I'm...
No, I'm not going to do it.
It cannot be stopped.
For which Mega Man? Am I going to make you one of the shit ones, or am I going to make you one of the cool ones?
Let's find out.
Chirok, he just operates the top of you and just throws battle chips at you and just... Anyway,
Yep.
They planned to unravel one of the spires and using a pocket dimension used previously by Roman Nomerin and Wittick. To do so, but this would require them to go to the city of Everland. Everland being very close to where they believe Zalto to be stumbling about. With the party is the pseudo-Arakokra Kairk, who is also the brother of Kika and also a brass dragon.
Yes.
In addition, there is Legacy, Queen of Neverwinter, daughter of Asmodeus, and baddest bitch on the planet because her daughter got taken away. And finally, Varus Valorin, the simulacrum thereof, who is a little gay ice boy.
I just remember that one of our plans for today is to try and charge this simulacrum like a battery.
Oh yeah.
Sink it in.
Hold on to these 2 stripped wires for me.
Put them in your molars and bite.
This is so dumb.
Last question. Do it.
And this is where we begin. The previous session ended, and Posey, you're opening back up your eye after a brief wink.
We couldn't have glossed over this.
No, we couldn't have.
No.
And as if by the spells like magic, as you're all there, Legacy is on the far side as you just open back up your eye. You have that brief moment, and you're all looking about, and you see yourselves in a large room, which looks like it's at the end of a corridor of polished marble. It is gorgeous here, and you could begin hearing the chirping and little kickling and mewling of kittens and cats in the distance. And as you're there, you begin hearing the sounds of an old, stumbling, mumbling individual from a room further along. So, party, you all stand there looking about. God damn it, Blue, I just looked at the gift.
Can I look at Widdick and just kind of tap my head?
After Widdick said, shut the fuck up.
I will message.
Thank you. That is what I
What's
wanted
up?
you to do.
I figured, but I was like, yeah,
I was
message.
watching the cogs turning your head. We meant to talk to someone about King. Yeah.
Oh shit, yes. Hmm.
Hmm.
Ah.
Ah.
Can you remind me the name of the person we're meant to talk to? Because I definitely wrote down one of the Archmages, but not the right one.
No, you probably wrote down the name of Crowan Valharo, who is
Did.
not the Archmagus you're looking for.
No, that's why I'm asking for the correct one.
Let me see. Yeah, see, he's Necromancy and Dunamancy. I have to go find that list. Give me a sec.
Necromancer specialist who is definitely not a lich, is what my note says.
Necromancy and Dunamancy. He's a dirty bastard.
If I leave and come back.
While you're checking that very quickly, just admin-wise, last session the bag of holding was taken off of Runara so the sunshine could be got. Has whoever took it still got the bag of holding, or did they give the bag of holding back?
I'm pretty sure I gave it back after I
Okay.
took the blade out.
I'm
and
just making sure.
tossed
Yeah,
it to the side,
I've
basically.
still got it written on my sheet. That's fine. Just want to make sure we know who's got it.
Basically, that thing of like, nerd. Thank you.
But you've
There you
got but you've got the weird pocket thing with the.
I think
Sunshine, right?
Prosperity has that back, right?
No, someone took the pocket from him and put the sunsword in there.
Mm.
And kept...
If anyone has that, it's Widdick.
I'm going to say Varys took the
Varys.
pocket. Varys
Yeah,
took the
Varys, yeah, I was
pocket,
gonna say.
and Wittick has the thing. But as
The
a
bag of
note,
holding
just like
is-
anything else, you do not put one pocket dimension in another pocket dimension,
No,
and
no,
they
no.
both would
Oh,
know
obviously
that.
not.
So Runara's got the bag of holding back without the sword, and then the
Yeah.
pocket. Do you want to carry it with Wittick, or should leave it with Varys?
Whatever.
I don't I just checked. I don't think I ever actually gave you guys ever the Archmage of Necromancy's name deliberately. Legacy knows it, but she has not said it to you yet.
Okay, so Varys has got the sword and the pocket.
The
Okay.
sword is in the pocket.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
fucking sin.
Yes.
In the
Wittick.
meantime, I'm going to then kind of message at Legacy and go, so about King, what are we doing?
Hear a verbal.
'Cause-
Oh fuck.
We all in and out of character forgot.
I didn't. I'm loving my life.
Oh,
I'm like, I don't have to.
well, see, that's the thing is, I kind of remember, I kind of remember on that, but it was the thing of, we never had the time to talk to the Archmage because, well, we never got the name, and then everything else
I
fucking
was
happened.
preoccupied with my son,
Oh, it should
Yeah.
be an easier day
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Kingdom, and the Gith invasion. Aphistus might still be here.
No, I'm on the
Have to check.
Since King has noticed a pause in conversation for unknown reasons,
No, Legacy's verbally talking. I'm not. This is as it is. Aphistus might be here and might be able to assist in your further detailings. I know Crowan is definitely here anyway. We'll see if he's here. Oh. I am still a member, so I'll go first. And she walks before you guys, and you guys kind of follow after. And there's a moment where you guys hear like two heavy stomps on either side of the door frame, and she just looks up with her arms folded. I have guests. And she just walks past. And as you guys begin walking in, you look up and you can just see a 30-foot tall iron golem, legs spread over the door's frame, looking down. which moon pigs would definitely remember because that was there. Who needs security when you have a golem go?
But normally the thing is that if something's able to come into here, they're also probably able to deal with an iron golem.
They've got other
Yeah, but it might
problems.
buy some time.
All that golem is for is to buy time.
By time, well, yeah.
It's almost like they need a damage sponge, which is also a shield guardian for the several archmages that are in the room.
Zids.
Wizards have bullshit. So
What do we-
as you guys come in, you can just see already flying around. All about you, you just see these small cats with little feathered wings. Some of which are much smaller, like kittens, with wings which do not fit and just barely flying, and others that look pseudo-grown and fully grown, flying all about you there. I'm not even going to make most of you check for this because they're, you know them, the little cat wing boys. They're just flapping about.
Yeah, we know them. We've seen them before.
Tresms. And they're just a plethora of them. You can just see old Crowan is just sat down, been sat down, and you can just see next to him, he's got these like heavy kind of grayish robes on with like a blue string down the sleeves on both sides. And next to him is a figure who is what can only be described in it is in a pure white suit with a pocket watch. What looks like you can see that there's stitching. It looks like a clear see-through pocket with a pocket watch in it. Just in as it goes. The hair is slightly grayed at the tips, at like the corners here, just about on the fringes of the head, leaning back into thick black hair. You're not sure if there's elf blood or if the figure is just face is just very angular in of itself, very lean figure. Is leaned down, kind of just moving Crowan back down to sit. Looks over and has both arms folded behind the back as you guys step in. Legacy, I did not expect you here. This deep kind of a voice unfitting to the thin gait of the figure, and like steps into, well, I was originally going to go here because we're about to do something crazy in Roman's shop, and also I have several people here who need to talk to you about, and then she points across the room to King. Athestus just looks and just stares, just blankly stares straight through King. Interesting. And you've not done any of your usual actions. Who was she? And is not only as if asking Legacy, but also asking you as a group.
I'm not gonna talk over King if King wants to say something, but I am gonna stand right next to King and be ready to talk if she doesn't.
I'm just gonna slowly blink my eyes and just say, I am going to gather this has something to do with the thing that you discovered at the keep that you don't want to talk to me about. I trust your judgment.
Right. So,
Yeah, there's a lot to go into right now.
It's
a
fine.
bit.
Okay, out of character. Can we just... Sorry, above table. Do we want to tell this guy? Because we probably don't want to tell him that she was the head of a cult of Orcus.
Also,
And he might recognize the name if we say it.
100% will recognise the name. Also, do we want to, if we do say this, do we want to say it in front of King?
King needs to know at some point, right?
But yeah,
It's better that she
King kind of needs
finds
to know.
out. It's
So
better that
I've
she
made
finds
several
out.
successful wisdom checks that you're hiding shit.
we're bad. Apart from me, we're bad at lying.
Then again, if this cult leader was so infamous anyway, because I remember specifically that her description resembles King in some manner.
It's her body, yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't he have recognized her anyway and not actually
Absolutely.
said anything? So
He
hence
knew
why
she
we're
was-
having the
Well,
conversation in the first
not-
place.
No.
Necessarily.
The form that King was a member that was trying
Oh,
to
yeah, you're right.
take over. The soul is half of the actual leader that was of the cult of Orcus.
Also, facial recognition.
Erwin,
rate
you get a
needed up.
D6. Use
Aaron,
its
I'm
information.
looking at notes and Aaron remembered it better than I did.
Good boy,
An
Erwin.
iron trap up here. Wait,
You're
where
a
did I leave the
robot.
mod?
Are you sure? So. Oh, fuck.
Nanoth
Let me-
the Mad and Zolith the Hidden Hand.
Yes, I have both names. Oh,
It's also possibly hard to recognize somebody when a quarter of their face is missing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also true.
That too. Because I
Someone
mean,
has an idea to launch
honestly,
in, but
if he's already, he can already see that there is necromantic origin on her.
I should be blind.
Blind wizards will probably also tell.
I feel weird talking about King, but because King doesn't know. Okay, I'm gonna fucking say something I'm gonna regret. Let's do it. Nick, stop
Yeah,
me
let's
if
fuck it.
you want to. I think Posey just kind of like tentatively like gets right up next to King and is like, what?
It's alright, there's something I need to tell you later as well.
What King was is kind of complicated. It's a lot of your, assuming necromancy is your thing, it's a lot of your domain. It's kind of complicated. King's like a fusion of a couple people, but the thing that's important is that we're a little worried. She's looking directly at King when she says this. We're a little worried what like a bunch of necromantic energy would do to King. We don't want her to change.
Yeah, last time she was kind. No, last time nothing happened.
By the way, I'm gonna say that, Poe, you can either make a sleight of hand check or just let that have happened. I'm just.
Can I make a sleight of hand check, but it's just my eyes?
Yes.
Just like dead eyeing, like do not fucking say what you're about to have said.
Oh, I have people with passive insights higher than that in this room. I'm not rolling for them. Hang on, where's my dice anyway? Because I like the clicky clack. And my plus. My dice.
Luck.
Do I even need to roll against that?
You can.
What do I roll?
Insight.
I got a good modifier to that as well.
Yeah, you do. Where the fuck are my dice?
God
Do I
damn
have
it.
them?
Don't have a good
You don't need
God
dice for
damn it.
D&D.
Yeah. My Josh is starting to laugh. Oh wait, no, they're over there. Chunky boys!
My plan worked. I've been eating them when he hasn't been looking.
You eating both of our dice? How many
Mhm.
dice are in your stomach at any given time?
Enough to do 10d6 worth of damage.
To yourself?
Yes.
D6 worth of
I,
internal
I
bleeding.
still love whenever they gave edible dice to
Brennan.
Brennan.
Aaron, hear me out.
King,
Guys, hold it back.
King, noticing all this, just says, as I have already stated that the secret doesn't bother me, I can only assume that the secret somehow impacts something. Would it be better if I was not in the room?
No. It's it's important that you know some things because like we said, we don't want anything bad to happen to you. We also just don't want to upset you or air your secrets out in front of a lot of people.
Air away. I trust you all. It appears you have secrets that I don't even know about.
I don't even understand the full thing.
Can I insight check King? Does she know about them?
Oh,
That's
that's
what I'm
actually
trying to
probably
find
a
out.
good idea.
Make a
I will assist.
check, or you can roll yourself.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I guidance myself?
No.
That's an 8.
Yay!
King, do you feel like you would know anything about this? How is King's current perspective when talking to them? Is King being deceitful? Is King being honest?
King is being honest. She knows how she was made as far as she knows, but something, ever since they've gone to that keep, they've picked up on some piece of information that she's not aware of. She's currently in the line of thought that there might be some sort of spell or something that has put her or something else at risk involving knowledge, but that's to the extent of her knowledge. She just trusts the party to be working in her best interest. It's not faith, it's trust.
Faith can be blind.
Exactly.
As you're all there talking, after a while, you can just see that Athyssus does take their hand away from their back and just like begins holding it, like one arm over the elbow, and it's their right hand out, and you can just see that it's withered and gnarled.
Both hands, right?
One hand is there, perfectly normal, perfectly fine. This one is gnarled and withered.
Right.
Sorry, I've just seen the word Vecna in my notes and I'm on guard.
It's always the left hand.
I know, that's why I was joking.
I was like, I want to see who's gonna freak out before.
Always gonna be me.
You know, it's King's left hand.
I do.
You know what? We're not gonna we're not gonna get anything if we don't be more truthful of what we can. So, basically, this one, pointing to Posey, basically was given a keep.
Not a good place to start, really.
Had a keep that was found in terms of we found a deed for it. In any case, as we were there, supposedly there was
Oh no.
Perfect timing.
Vecna is ringing, going, "You can't talk."
Bruno
This
intercedes.
is
So yeah,
basically
there
an
was.
intermission. This is the intermission song.
And intermission.
But wait, wait, I'll tell this story.
No!
So,
You are the worst person to tell this. Physically restraining Runara.
Second
Think
word
I've
for
let
telling
it do it,
stories
is
only to
enough.
Thane.
King says with a completely unable to emote expression to the Archmage, I apologize, believe it or not, they often have me do the talking.
Can understand
I mean,
why.
Ideally, I would do the talking, but Winnick has launched into this with a lot of confidence, so there's not really a lot I can do to pull it back.
Well, I mean, I do the talking sometimes, but it's less talking and more quoting poetry, lines from theatre things. I mean, if you're into that, I mean, I can,
We could
but I
take
don't
a
think it's...
brief like dip into Hamlet and then come back.
yeah, and if we're talking about doing the talking,
Sorry,
I mean,
with the ghost did it, fitting for this Archmage.
I was the first
yes.
person to find out about this, so I guess I could do the talking.
Aaron, give thumbs up if you consent to Renara talking. Please do not.
No, don't, please. No, I don't want you talking.
Thank you.
That was in character. I'm like, out of character, I don't want you to
Denied.
talk it.
I mean,
Not let Renara talk to anyone.
Not even herself.
As Lo is saying this, he's sort of... He's both sort of playing with the Tressym kittens, but also slightly swatting them away, trying to protect Puck.
My God,
Puck-
if you
Puck
do
is
not keep an
in
eye on
your-
Puck,
Puck
the
is
Tressums
in
will
your
eat
shirt.
him.
The puck is in your black, like in your like chest hair right now, just like. Get the little fuckers away from me!
No, it's essentially that sort of thing. There's this big serious conversation going.
There's like 3 of them in your antlers, like leaning. It's like Jurassic Park with raptors. Cat-sized raptors coming for Puck. Puck doing the fucking kitchen scene from the first Jurassic Park.
Okay.
There we go.
So, while
Now that Mechanus has finished talking to you and Primus has, continue.
yes, as we've went to deal with this newfound keep of our own, we found evidence of necromancy, and during that time there seemed to be some effect that was interacting with King.
Pardon?
While we are not entirely sure for why, it was something that we thought was not a good idea and had told King to then basically stay away from that keep at the time. But something seemed to start affecting them roughly from getting some sort of energy of necromancy.
Forgive my confusion, but if my memories be altered, I don't believe I was at the keep.
It's got. I'll tell you later, but kind
And
of.
everyone else is like, yeah, she wasn't at the key.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's kind of complicated.
Just trust us on this one. We will explain everything
you-
later.
Very well.
Look, my brain is already kind of broken.
Don't worry,
Just note, you remember things mostly
we-
correctly.
we didn't mess with your memories.
If you needed to, you needed to. You don't have to be
No,
shy about it.
no, we didn't. We didn't change your memories. We changed the actual events.
Kika?
I feel like instead of doing all of this weird, oh, we kind of did this, but kind of did this, and like just explaining half of it, you should just explain it. Because
Okay,
your half explanation is not helping things.
Okay.
Okay, so King came to the keep. Something bad happened. So I made it so King didn't come to the keep.
How?
Magic. So we're still not being
Magic.
truthful. We're still not being
Okay,
truthful.
sorry. This is like a couple things.
As you guys are
thing.
talking and explaining,
found
there's just a moment, like, and you guys have noticed this entire time that this just has like their hand doing this motion. And as you guys are there, you notice that the stopwatch, the pocket watch they have in their chest, has stopped ticking until you guys get to this point.
Say this guy's in charge of Dunamancy, right? Knows all about time travel.
Yeah, so we didn't
And also rolled a natural 20 on his Arcana check.
I found an ability, a thing that let me change an event. So I made it so King never went to the keep because things went bad.
Given that you're speaking so
Okay.
vaguely, I take it was not a form of genie wish.
No, it wasn't
It
a
was not a
wish.
form of divine intervention, which would mean that the only other item which I know adventurers are far too keen to always get their hands on is a card on the deck of many things.
What's that?
There wasn't many things in the deck, but there was a card.
Which also, given the fact that you were vague about your friend earning a keep, would also tie into that, as there's one card that has that effect.
Right, okay. We've still got a ton of gems.
Left the part out.
Sorry.
We're
But
not
we're-
really-
Your components, breaking them down for enchanted tattoos and other such effects, including enchanting them into magic items and
Yeah.
restoration of all forms of peoples through the use of diamonds, are all very useful effects for gems.
Yeah.
keep
We gave some to charity as well, so that's nice. So yeah, we did that. And we stopped the bad thing that happened to King from happening to King, but we fear that bringing King near any source of sort of necromantic juju will trigger the whole thing happen again, and I
We're
can't
going
stop
to
it.
do first thing tomorrow. So if you
Well,
have
no,
even
like now, effectively,
yeah, no, yeah,
today.
like now. Sorry, this whole thing with the pocket dimension is really confusing.
Yeah.
So like now we're gonna go and deal with the big necromantic thing, and we really don't want anything to happen to King. So if you can like block it even on a short time, even if we can't like fully help
Guys
now.
just begins like walking around. It's like he's looking up and down King the whole way around. I need to take a look at something, if you don't mind, young lady, and looks towards King.
Sorry, I'm in a bit of shock. Pardon my language, but holy fucking shit. By all means, take your time. I am currently questioning the
I'm not taking
ramifications
my
of
time.
reality.
Girls, don't die. Are you okay?
Grape juice just came out my nose.
Okay.
Take your time. Antithesis just looks. I'm not taking my time. I'm looking at yours, and extends the hand out and pulls back. And you guys all see.
You made a mess of the timelines in there.
You guys all essentially see King step forward, but King stays in the same place. As the temporal illusion of King, like the exact silhouette, stands out in front, and just begins walking around, looking, and just begins twisting in the air. And you guys all just begin hearing. You all know the classic sound of a clock. It's like the invert of going backwards, but quicker and quicker and quicker. And that echo begins changing and changing and shifting. It just continues walking around until there's a moment where raises up a hand and with a snap, it stands in place. The figure is aiming down a hand as if towards something, as if casting a spell, and looks towards the gestures, reverses it a little, moves it forward a little. Hmm. Actually extends out towards the echo briefly and almost like plucks a portion of it away. Just begins expanding it out, and it almost expands out like a cube shape from where it was around. Staring towards it.
Fucking Minority Report.
That's what I just said. That's what I was just referencing. Yeah.
So had to use borrowed luck on that, but rolled a 19 eventually. Plus 13. Archmage.
Everyone's got a higher Arcana mod than you, Varys.
This guy's literally been around longer than Varys. He has a reason. Yeah. Your previous self performed and was aiming it towards someone, but in this moment of the reflection, the magic from the other person was striking through the spell at the same time. She was performing a spell to capture a soul. They were performing a spell to destroy a body and soul. You are the byproduct of two spells exploding in one point. And just, it all begins folding back and goes back into King in that moment. King, you feel perfectly fine, except for the fact you saw your silhouette for a period in front of you. And simultaneously, it's like you had like out of body experience, seeing the vision from where that effect was and from your previous self at the same time. It was a bit of an overlap. And just begins walking about you again. and you can all just hear it. And as you do, you can just see the right arm just comes off at the right arm of Athasius just comes off at a point there, and you can just see there's like a prosthetic point to it up to a hand. It just floats in place for a moment, and as if like pulling out of reality, out comes a hand that looks like it's crafted out of adamantite, which comes down and just begins staring still. And for a moment just begins performing with this kind of motion, looking towards, between both eyes, looking towards King. And in one fluid motion has it moving like a pocket watch is being hung by its tether and flung just like back and forward, but between the two motions, eventually both eyes get a vision and claps into the forehead of King. And King, you are in the middle of the room, brought over, and you guys see behind King on King's left, behind King on King's right, two figures. You can both see tethers pulling from both of them into King in the middle. King, you can see them. One is a woman who, if not for your gaunt, emaciated, and half decayed face, would look like you. The other one is of an elderly man. Now looking towards, you can see has a bone hand from halfway up the wrist up to their left hand. But is not a... It's like the meat ends and flesh ends and like kind of sinks in, and then it's just bone afterwards. And on the top of their head, you can just see the symbol of Orcus carved in. And you can see the figures begin looking like they're confused. Not really able to speak, you just begin hearing garbled voices, like echoes trying to draw language from dozens of resonated echoes at once. Continues walking. The hand, the decrepit hand that they had, is following them around as they walk, looking. There is something I could try to do, but it would be very difficult and would risk your friend's life. It can separate the two figures. The only other way to amend this is to allow your friend King to become, and I speak to you as well, become more powerful in the arcane arts and build your own will, and perform a safer variant of this later, where you can command over the two that are in. The difficulty lying in the fact that you are fighting two at one. I would not recommend this that you are going to be encountering an undead as a type. You said there was a threat to you. I believe that if you face this foe, given that I believe this is involving with your spires, if you face this foe who is siphoning in arcane energy as such, you're going to run into the direct issue of the energy is siphoning into that area, and you being in the proximity, are you aware of how magic from the weave flows through a person?
Who is he asking, the group or
Everyone.
We just kind of barely got a lesson here recently.
Points at Kika.
All spellcrafters
swats
I'm
away
a
at
wizard
Tresem.
myself.
I just point at King. I'm like, this is it?
To explain for the rest of you so you understand, the weave is essentially the skill of a magic user. All people have magic inherent within them, but those who are able to harness it are able to craft and strengthen themselves with it over time and learn how to perform more and more magic, refine their power more, do not use as much of it as they progress. Like a baby snake using all of its venom in one bite. Wizards who are beginning to learn the art tend to exert their energy all at the start. Same with sorcerers and other kin. You are able to control how much magic you have while also bolstering the quantity. So you are able to control it. It is less reckless, less undefined and refined, and more streamlined. The problem with your friend here is that there are essentially 3 patterns of weave within the one body, disrupting how her own magic will work. And whilst she bolsters herself, the other 2 are like parasites leeching off. The more powerful she gets, they will siphon power from her in this way, bolstering themselves. At a later date, she can attempt to resist them, but should one of them succeed, they could claim dominancy, and she would then be stuck into the siphoning position. Unlike the other 2, who have been fighting, it seems, to try and gain control, if you remove one of them, the other one may attempt to gain complete control. They are not willing to share. There's not enough space. There's not enough space in the glass for all the water, and the oil, and the tar, so the tar and the oil are trying to push each other out to take the water for themselves.
Right. Is it?
Wait a minute. I thought we were talking about fabric. Why have we just gone to liquids right now?
It's a metaphor.
Like a
I know,
cheesecloth.
but they're mixing
It's like
them.
a cheesecloth.
No. It's like you don't mix paisley, you don't mix Plight, you don't.
When
King raises
when
a
it's
good
magic,
hand.
lots of metaphors get mixed.
Yeah, I'm realizing that. Swats Tresem.
Hey,
Okay.
King, you were saying? You were raising your good hand.
They both currently reside within this body to an extent, correct? Then I believe the course is clear. There are 2 pretenders wearing the crown. One way or another, only one of us is the true king. If what you say is true, they may well hold more right to the crown than I do. I may not be capable of this, but I cannot abide by this. A king must be decided here and now.
See, they begin reaching into their left sleeve. The adamantite hand disappearing and the withered hand reaching in. Poe, you were saying?
Kind of, I want to draw away from King because King's decision is important, but I kind of look at Nara. I don't know if you actually told me this, but I'm going to assume you did. Isn't this how this happened last time?
I can't remember. I think one of them took over, but which is what he just explained. One of them could get control, but this I can't remember. This is different.
I have a question to pose. Mainly, I've heard of it before, but would there be some way to basically put magic shackles, but inside a person? So in terms of, so, like you have mages who get, when they get shackled, we have certain pieces that we use for them, right?
You see,
But
like,
what?
you get very uncomfortable as this conversation is going.
And
but
I'm
not
sorry,
for not for the reason you think.
but basically taking something like that and clamping it to them too within King to remove their
Whittick,
suction of. Look,
Whittick, enough.
I like this version. I don't care for the other two. I like this version. Anyway,
Yeah, I met the other one. It's not cool.
I will earn this crown. Seal me away. I will deal with this, or I will not. You may kill what comes out as you desire. It is an honor to travel with all of you. Posey, you're as hot as fuck. Whittick,
hey,
I trust you most of all. But in this, I must succeed or fail.
Just see that Theistos reaches into their left sleeve with the right hand. So King, and just pulls out a long silver scissors. Would you like a coup? And we're gonna take a break.
Hey.
Okay. Ah,
The king is dead. Long live the king!
King.
okay, boys. Yeah, we're having a
Hey,
break.
quiet break. I'll be back.
We'll be right back. Bye. Hello.
Oh, come back. So then, you guys see about yourselves. You're all here. You see, Athistos. Actually, I'll just put their name in chat. Right, quick. Boop. Athistos is just there, and looks about to all of you. Is holding a silver scissors. This can be a difficult ritual, with an obvious risk to your friend's well-being. Is there anything you would like to assist your friend with?
This is like a resurrection, essentially, like a reverse resurrection.
Una reverse card. Mage armor! Interestingly, mage armor only affects King, does not go to either of the echoes.
Do I guess I'll just ask. Do you think action from evil and good will help or hinder this?
Oh, that's what I was wondering. That's what I've got.
So
By
I've
all
got,
accounts, we have the two spirits here. These are the spirits of two
I'm trying to protect
spellcasters.
King.
The spirits of two spellcasters who would no doubt be able to attempt to break through it, but it is another barrier they would have to break through.
Do it.
That's
Real
that
quick.
okay?
Are you going to cast it?
Does King let me?
I didn't catch what you said.
Protection from good and evil. Are you good for me to cast it on you?
Any of the prayers and buffs you want to give me now, go ahead. But once the battle starts, it must be my own.
I know.
Roughly how
lying,
long
but I
does
know.
this ritual last?
This ritual can be over relatively quickly. It depends on... The spirits are fighting for their existence, and will try to draw this out as long as they can. I will say as well, for the sake of ease, you guys can put on your spells when the ritual begins.
Yeah,
and
I'll do it
count
like
Magog
I'm just shoving it in
having
the chat.
started. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's
I
10
have,
minutes anyway.
I have a question for the party, which is out of character,
Hmm.
and this is more for which you feel is going to be more appropriate, because I do have enhance ability, which I am thinking of applying. It's more whether it's wisdom or charisma that's going to be the thing.
There's
It's
They
gonna
keep
be
saying a test of will, which is generally
yeah,
wisdom.
Int is her spellcasting.
Yeah, and then say
but
and
yeah, at the
Arcana
same
is
time,
into based as well.
at the same time,
Mhm.
this is a wizard thing, so I would think in.
I mean,
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw it out there because it's something I've been thinking of. Obviously, it's a very new thing for both me and Kika. If we're not sure which enhanced ability we want, Kika could try to mimic it because apparently she can.
Yeah, you can try and
Sometimes-
cast the other one.
Yeah, so it's a level 2 spell, and I literally was looking it up to be like, what level is enhanced ability? Because if I can mimic
It would be a DC 10
yeah.
Arcana for you.
So there's a chance I might not be able to, but Kiki doesn't really have anything else that would
I would
assist
say
in
this. Because it's new, and I'll give this to you as a thing, it's something that rewards your creativity. So what I will say is, if you wanted to be thorough and try to apply more versions of enhanced ability, the DC goes up by 1 per additional effect. So if you want to do int and wisdom, and someone else do charisma, or so on, you could.
Yeah, unless anybody else wants to throw out any other spells that have come to their brain that Kiku could attempt to simulate. Obviously, there is a DC involved, so it's not guaranteed to work. But enhanced
highest level
ability
spell you
could
can
come to
cast.
mind. Kika currently can cast spells up to. I've lost my character sheet because I got 4 of them open at the moment. 4th, but obviously with every single level and every new thing we try to do, the DC will get higher, and Kika only has +3 to Arcana.
Enhanced ability lasts for an hour.
When we're ready to start, Runara will set up just a small couple of candles and some incense and get ready to pray to Verona and channel Divinity at the moment of the switch.
Make a religion check.
Because I think Stacey's idea for the enhanced ability is very good. So if she wants to do that, I can do something else.
Yeah, it was more me getting a vibe from the rest of the vibe. Hey, bud.
It's a vibe.
Enhancement seems a really good idea. Any of them.
Whether it's more a whiz or an int,
Yeah,
but considering that int is King's primary stat, that makes sense.
So
I do understand where you're going with. Sorry, just to say, I do understand where you're going with the idea of using the int. I think that's okay. That makes sense. If you want to do all three, I'm not saying you have to. I will also throw out. It is an Arcana check you make. You can add an inspiration dice to it if you get inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be if Kika casts it.
That's if Kika casts it. Kika can receive that.
Yeah.
If
Well, my initial thought was if Lo does one, Kika could do another, and then it would just be a case of, we've got one stat from you, one stat from you. I wasn't suggesting we do all of them, because obviously the more Kika does, the more likely it is flat out won't work.
I think as well, if we have Lo do the in, potentially, that's like guaranteed that's going to work, it's just a spell slot. Kika can then try for however many. If she only ends up with wisdom, or if she ends up with none of them, that's also okay.
Yeah.
Plus, I believe inspiration is a bonus action.
you can do it on a bonus action, and it lasts it lasts for a good while.
Would also recommend potentially people who've got guidance, people who've got inspiration, just fucking load King up.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So, we got a limit on how many actions as a party we can take, like in a resurrection ritual.
No. What I am going to say is that everyone is going to be limited. I am going to have a cutoff point. Like, say, for example, the enhance ability, you can do one spell, so you can add a spell to it, or you can do an action. You've made an action with that religion check.
Yeah. Can I action surge and do two things, though?
And do the second one at the exact moment.
Well, the first one
That's the way I would rule it, is that you're praying to focus, and if you're action surging to cast something, you could do that, but you'd have to do that
at the moment.
Yes.
Well, I will then do that for guidance at the. Well, guidance is ability check. Is it going to be a saving throw potentially?
If we have everything, we're covered on all fronts.
You're literally going to be thorough. Well,
hold on. Do we think this is going?
Hang on a sec. Narrowin, you've been trying to talk for a minute.
I would also like to join Renara in channeling Divinity, as I would like to channel the Watcher's will. Which, I mean, it's only for a minute, but you and the chosen creatures, so equal to my modifier, so charisma, so that would be me, Renara, and King, all have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws.
Okay. In that case, what I'll do is I would like to.
But it's only for a minute.
You can do that at the very end of it, yeah.
At the moment, I would like to action surge to bless King, me, and Wittek.
Okay, so you all are going to get a D4.
It's literally the spell I was checking was Hallow, because I was like, sacred ground. How do we make this sacred ground? And you guys have just done it.
Basically done it.
Ernest, have you got any ideas of things you would like to add to this? I'm not going to leave you out.
Yes.
I'm going to throw a stone at him.
Yeah, no. I will walk. Because the thing is, right. This is going to be a lot. So, would it be possible for me to stack more, basically, just things onto them to help them survive as much as I can?
What would you think you want to add?
So, I was going. I feel like Serenus could walk up and use enhanced ability of Owl's wisdom to have advantages on wisdom.
So you do wisdom, he could do charisma, and Lo do int. So you're all going to cover it for all the checks of it, and then you're going to get advantage on the saving throws, and D4s to the checks and saving.
Well, D4s just to the
saving throws
for me.
Yeah. I'm currently just scrolling through to see if there's anything else.
Combined, I am Captain Planet.
We want you to live so
like
bad.
you.
Hot.
Saros is gonna just start putting all the treasures that he was cuddling in the corner to one side,
and then I'm just going
walk
to
over and ready banishment.
Hold on.
Like that. Okay. Which, by the way, you readying a spell is
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna cast it at level 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking.
Yeah, it's a level 2 spell, so yeah, you cast that out. And that will do... Yeah, you want to do Owl's Wisdom for wisdom checks, and the other ones are going to do Fox and... Fox's Cunning and Eagle Splendor. Perfect. So then that's all of
I'm waiting
those.
for
So
Daz to ask
I'm just doing
exact
Owl.
check we
I'm just
don't
doing
know.
Owl's Wisdom on
Talking
the
over each
behalf,
other.
Strength saving
Talking
throw.
over each other.
Sorry.
Start again.
I'm gonna do So Owl's Wisdom on
Perfect.
King to help him with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Currently, I've just got a pin put in on the thing because I'm literally like checking if there's any other spells I can do, because Mr. DM, you give me basically the option to cast any spell in the game. It's going to take me a hot minute to check them all. This is your fault.
This is where creativity is cool.
Up to level 4, Blue. You said,
I'm not gonna toy around with overcasting yet, because that's gonna end in trouble.
There is
I think.
a second level divination spell which gives proficiency with any skill for an hour.
Mm-hmm. There is.
I don't know what King has proficiency in.
Don't know. There is Magic Circle.
Magic Circle was how we were going to do this originally.
Yeah.
I can cast that if that's needed.
You were
I was actually
in
going
the
to ask the
ritual, you're a
Archmage
bit-
if that was necessary.
You're in the ritual, so you're a bit busy, but you can present that.
Mm-hmm.
And you just watch as... Bear in mind, while you guys are doing this and preparing these spells and the like, Ethystus is there preparing to perform the ritual. Crowan begins, from the chair, not really moving. The chair just, lifts up and turns to look at you guys, and he begins performing Magic Circle. And on the exterior of him, then, an exterior of that circle, you guys just see Legacy, the tail point is kind of just, dragging against the ground. It's just, a little trail of fire around the whole thing, and she performs a variant of the Hallow spell.
I was going to say who's got 5th level spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blue, you could potentially Death Ward King in case it all goes
Possibly.
bad.
I'm also looking at Warding Bond, which obviously comes with an amount of risk, but it gives bonuses to AC saving throws and resistance to damage in case that ends up being an issue.
I will say, because
good.
I know that particular spell requires a material component of a cost, that does increase the DC by 1. Because that's a low tier one, so it increases the DC by 1.
Yeah, it does have
So
a material cost.
Yeah, because Thane wants to get 2 platinum rings.
So that is an option. Depending on how people feel, I might toy around with modifying it slightly, but obviously that's going to increase the DC some more as well.
Hey.
Yep.
So it depends
Like
if
tied
you...
to
And if
people
anything
together.
you've got you think you can do,
Yeah.
then
So it's going to be the case of,
obviously.
do we want to go for a safer option of just replicating enhanced ability and picking a stat so that she's just covered on all of her stats, or potentially picking Warding Bond so that she'll have a +1 to AC in all saving throws and resistance to all types of damage.
I think of the 2, Warding Bond is better.
I think go big or go home.
Okay.
Make an Arcana check.
Let me read through this.
Now, the thing to bear in mind, Blue, because I just googled this myself, is it's the damage thing.
I know, that's why
Yeah.
I said I'm going to try modifying it. I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to try modifying it so
Okay.
that to essentially make it so that this damage is negated and kind of funneled away.
Is
That's
the
fair
damage,
enough.
Is the damage between you
Thinking
and
for you,
target,
don't worry.
or
Correct.
can you choose a second target to ward them with?
No,
you could ward it. You could ward them with Varys' Simulacrum. If he dies, he dies. It's
Yeah,
Simulacrum.
that's-
No, it goes between the person and the target.
Yeah,
But
if,
I could modify
if
it
she
to
can
do that.
change.
That's what she.
That's what I was implying. Of
I will say this because I'm letting you know. Rather than trying to remove that condition, changing that condition to someone else is easier.
Yeah, so it's a touch spell which makes a connection between you and the target, but Keeper's going to try to change it so that it's between King and someone else, and then it's got the damage mitigation and the buffs apply to that.
Warding Bond is a second level.
Say second level. It lasts for an hour.
That's going to be 8 plus 2. I'm going to add 1 to that, so it's going to have a DC 11. So make an Arcana check.
After all this, I'm going to fail the fucking roll.
Yeah. Kind of why I was saying is make an Arcana check, just in case.
How long does Warding Bond last?
Hour.
An hour.
If this is happening before, could Runara guide her?
Guidance.
13. Yep, 13.
13.
So-
You guys watch as, to say, Kika, you're there focusing on the moment, and you're trying to think of, well, I want to give anything I can to protect King in this moment. So you extend out and just begin weaving, and you can just see 2 rings begin circling around by your hands as you're just like almost sewing them, like 2 or knitting them 2 different circles as if you're just like tying them together. And there's a connection between you and King, and then you have like an anchored moment of realization, and you look over, and Varys looks towards you and nods, holding the blade ready, and you understand in that moment what he means. And one of the rings flings out towards Varys, and the other one goes to King, warding between them both. So well done.
Okay, that's what we can do. Here we go.
You guys watch as from Ephistus as well just begins moving, and you can just see Ephistus splits. One portion walks towards one side. Yes. Okay.
I need to make a religion check for my channel.
No, you're just doing a channel divinity.
Okay.
He was just Rob trying to perform a spell whilst also doing a channel divinity.
Gotcha.
He's spending that and performing it, so his DC is a bit different. You're just performing this directly. So you can see the 2 forms of this just like step around, both having a scissors, and they both move in together at the same moment and just... King, make an intelligence saving throw.
So much.
It's with advantage, with a
With
D4.
advantage, yeah.
Yep.
From
With a D4
And a plus,
assuming,
and a
like-
plus 1.
and a +1. Your party wants you to live.
And maybe it is
I
very
forgot I
good
have my I just have my general aura, so
Yeah.
you also get
+3.
a +3.
I don't need to inspire.
Okay, intelligence saving throw.
That's for
And then,
Okay,
then he rolls
make-
with advantage and
Make
then
it
we'll go around.
make an intelligence saving throw with advantage to begin with.
Yeah.
You just rolled a natty 20.
buff.
I do get a buff. I do get a buff. I do get a buff.
Then it's add a D4 for bless.
It's 19.
So
17 to 20. Now with a +1, 21. At this point, the DC was 18. The DC was the spell DC of both of the casters, which each of them have a DC of 18. So in this moment, you can just see the tether is pulled, snapped, and Ethereus just like pulls away and is back in the same place as one person putting the scissors away. As this happens, both figures seem like they regain sense of themselves, and the adrenaline surge of like you can all feel this mental surge of tension and this fight or flight response in their brains, almost like reaching out. You guys outside of the magic circle are not potentials to become hosts. So well done.
how big's the magic circle?
You guys are outside of it. The magic circle
Yeah.
specifically is going around
Okay.
this, so it's keeping everyone who's in there in, very specifically. And they both then lunge towards King. King, in that moment, you are King. You are you. You can feel for this moment as if your consciousness is trying to be drowned out by 2 screaming, howling voices, desperate to live in undeath. And you just hear the voices of different friends echoing through, kind words from Poe, assertive words from King, from Wittick, the gentle words of Kika, low singing and dancing himself away, Renara, Serenus cheering you on, and you just push down, and you push them down, and you open up your eyes, and everyone else you can see, the other 2 figures are desperately trying to claw, but they're both forced down to their knees. 10 foot away from you in the circle. King, what do you do? I will say this. you feel in this moment you have control, more control than you've ever had. These are two people who would kill, lie, cheat, murder, do whatever they had to do to gain power, like any royalty would, in your mind, but not following the ways of law as should be. Do you attempt to punish them, or do you attempt to remove them?
I've drawn my dagger, looking quite dramatic. I point that at them. Kneel before your king.
Make an Arcana check with advantage.
Inspiration.
There's more to that command, but
Go on. So continue your command, but you also have to roll a d4 and a d6.
It'd been bless wouldn't work on this.
No, okay, so it's just a
Yeah, it's just saving
rather.
throws.
Oh, it's a d6 or a d8. Actually, you're a d8 at this point, aren't you, honey? As a bard.
D8, yeah.
Yeah, so roll a d8. You get to add a d8 to this, gamer. 23 dirty. Also, stop rolling the same number twice, goddammit!
No.
it's fine.
I do what I want.
Continue with your command.
You are hereby banished from my kingdom to live in exile. Go to your eternal rest and never return.
In that
So
moment,
not so much a punishment as a fuck off, be dead already.
in this moment, as you stand out, demand this towards them, you feel that you could almost pull, and they both lunge at you again, trying to take, and you just slam them both down, and they're forced down almost onto their chests on the ground. You have mastered your own mind and your own knowledge. King, you are now expertised with Arcana. And as so mark that down on your character sheet. As you're there looking down towards them, you just hear sound of hooves. And not too far away, there is a figure sitting on top on the front of a cart. Two horses drawn to the front of it. The figure is wearing pure white, not unlike the suit that is being worn by the Necromancy Archmage, but an older, distinguished humanoid kind of figure. You can just see, like, as you're trying to look and focus, any of you trying to focus on their face, you just see the beard, you just see the gentle smile, and the carriage door opens. The Hallow spell performed with the assistance of Asmodeus splits. The magic circle splits. And two chains out and strike into the figures and begin dragging in. The door slams shut. The figure in the front of the car just kneels down, bows a little bit to the head, whips it, and the horse, the carriage, Neanoth the Mad and Zolith the Hidden Hand are gone. All the magic floods out like water being held in the air and just pours out in a flood. King, you fall down to your knees in a fatigue. You have 1 point of exhaustion.
Understandable.
I'm gonna scurry over to her and hug her.
Yeah, me too.
I will say, had you failed any of those, not only would this have gone on longer, but you would have began gaining points of exhaustion. Enough would have killed you. But the assistance of your friend said, no, Bad deal.
No.
Lo will go over in a rush, almost a hug, but notices that Poe and Kika are already there, so will automatically, slightly awkwardly, sort of goes and offers the hand like a gentleman to offer her up.
King is still looking towards the floor and raises her good arm shakily up
You lift up your good arm.
to take
It's a full arm.
his.
You look
Pardon?
over at you lift up your good arm. It's a normal arm. You look over, and you all hear a ding, 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 ding on the ground. Your arcane focus is on the ground. Your left hand is restored. Your left arm is restored.
Can
Face is restored. Your body is restored.
could I
Yeah.
could I try and catch the arcane focus?
It's gonna hit the ground. You can try, but you'll probably slip and fall on your ass. You can do it though, bud. Make an acrobatics check.
Come on, Lo, you can do it.
Okay, 3, 2,
Does
1.
the king have a jester?
Yes, you do.
So Lo sort of offers the hand out, notices the thing falling, and almost Jared Labyrinth style just sort of catches it, bounces it for a second, and then offers it on the side. Milady?
I will say this as well.
Her hands are shaking. She's looking down at the ground. And you hear her say, in a tired voice, I once wrote a book about falling down the stairs. It's a step-by-step guide. And she turns up to look at you.
Fox just starts
Her
crying.
her face restored and everything looks healthy and normal. Her face is still pretty much completely expressionless, except for a tiniest, if you squint, sort of curl at the lips at the side, which vanishes almost instantly. And she says, the king is dead. Long live the king.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, long live the king.
Episode title, what?
Woo!
Who's ready for a nap?
Yes.
Also, I will say this, king. A steady heartbeat.
I was. Do I do the Doctor Who quote? No, I don't.
She's like an elf? Does she look like a human?
I'm Moon Elf.
Oh, damn.
Moon. Woo!
I will say this as well, king. You feel like that form you previously had isn't out of your reach. A number of times a
Interesting.
day, equal to your proficiency bonus, you may activate the Vision of Death and give yourself advantage on intimidation checks. So mark that down, motherfucker.
Let's go take a nap.
Yeah.
Let's go have a nap in a pocket dimension.
I'm gonna take a nap. You're gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap right here. Okay, good night, buddy. Good night. As you guys are there, Crone has just sat down, looking at all of you. If I had a nickel for every time I saw a weird intervention happen in my castle, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird just happened twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because what was the other
Huh.
Nemo.
I was being Nemo last time.
That was 0, yeah. They
Yeah.
keep happening. Stop going to this tower, Nemo. Stop bringing your characters here. And as you're doing that, Athesis is just cleaning up. It's like out of nowhere comes just like a cloth that's being patting over the brow. Amateurs at the art, anyway. To yourself now, young lady.
Thank you for everything. I feel like shit. I weigh like 20 kilograms more than I did 5 minutes ago.
A heart's a heavy burden.
I
We
want.
can try it.
Hang on. I'm actually gonna check something.
I suddenly way more.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. And what the fuck? Okay, so I rolled 2 rolls, and I'm going to explain why in a minute.
Oh
Keegan.
no.
King, you look at each other, and there's a moment where you have like an unspoken kinship in your head. Archons are able to spot other Archons.
The fuck?
I'm,
my god.
You know how I just
It's-
explained the
it's-
roll when a king is made through an insane arcane event?
that sure is what
Yeah.
just happened. I hug King so hard that it feels like Kika's gonna break her newly grown bones.
Yeah,
Of
that
the
that
most,
that
like,
tracks.
we have like, we played the Defenders for so long. We are the biggest walking target of a group.
Yes, Frog, yes!
Yep,
It's
that's
it's
him.
the sense reverb thing.
Which, by the way, you're just sitting in the corner and you just see Legacy just put 2 fingers to her temple going, oh no. No. I'm not teaching you. Go to the lady in white and never fucking water deep. I'm not doing you.
I look over and I say,
Speaker, the
"Do you
warding
believe
thing.
I'm a king now."
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Nima. Go again.
King looks over at her and she says, "Do you believe I'm a good king now?"
The 3 I just had in the room, you're the best one of the 3, so we can take that.
I'll take it.
Oh, I have to show you the warding bond now. I just showed it to Kika. It's
I can show her.
I
Would
was
you-
about to say. I mean,
I can
King's
show
more than
her.
capable of showing
anything,
King.
it lets you, if anything, it lets you practice it as well. So
Yeah.
Oh, Naren's doing math.
Well, we're gonna have 9 people, correct?
all of you, Kairk, Varys, and
No.
Legacy.
Yeah, but we're magic circling from here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The teleportation circles let you just shunk when they're anchored to
Down to Evelyn, yeah. So
Let's
numbers
go.
from
So
here
that's
to Evelyn
10.
numbers.
Okay.
That's just very quickly while that hugging conversation was happening. As the necromancer Archmage is cleaning up, I'd want to walk over to him and just kneel down and help him pick up some stuff that he's cleaning up, and just be like, can I ask you a very quick question?
You can try.
Oh,
And as you just see her just like taps the pocket watch for a second, everyone else in the room freezes.
oh, I guess that helps.
Dunamancy.
Very quickly, King often speaks about how it's obviously very illegal to do necromancy. And they've been very hesitant to do necromancy because of this. Obviously, in your position, is there any sort of like pass you can get to let her, like?
What I will say is this. The raising of dead, where it is not returning someone to their previous living state, raising someone, even if they were willing in life, into thraldom, is a form of magic which is not allowed on the material plane. It is something that a lot of people argue against. There are many cultures who do endorse it. And the more you look into the dealings of them, the more you realize that a lot of them are malignant at the top of the totem pole.
Right.
Now, there's plenty of necromantic magics that do not specifically require it.
Oh yeah.
There are necromantic magics for the controlling of dead, which is something that has already been raised and domineering it.
Is that illegal, or is that something?
You are not raising the dead. You are controlling an undead.
Okay, I'll give it a check.
I will allow her, if she has a moment, to copy that spell for me if she'd like.
Oh, she probably will. Okay, nothing. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And you can just see it's just turned towards you. Your mother would be proud. And scene returns. And he's just like staring at you and has all the books now in their hands. The ones that you even had are just like now your hand are just like in the open grasp where you had a book previously.
Okay, can we go kill an undead fire giant now?
Yeah.
Just one more second, young lady, because it's only fair. And just like reaches into the sleeve and just pulls out and hands over to King. This scroll. If you just use the scroll, I will find you and slap you. Write that into a spellbook when you get the capacity to.
I will do just
King.
that, and she.
King, mark down that you have a scroll of the 5th level spell, Control Undead.
Control undead, you said, right?
Control Undead.
Okay, thank you.
It's essentially like Dominate Person, but is exclusive to Undead.
Yep.
It cannot work on any Undead with an intelligence of 8 or higher.
If you've got an undead of 8 or intelligence or higher, you have other problems.
Yeah.
If you have a lich or a
Or
vampire.
Dex
The
Knight.
scroll, sort of curtsies, and then sort of bends over, and it's like, there are far too many organs in here. This can take some getting used to.
It will. I say this from a point of experience, having been enervated multiple times. Your body will need to adapt. For those in the room who have some semblance of arcanic knowledge, there are effects which can do necrotic damage, like Finger of Death, or Enervating Ray, like Beholders, which do wither you heavily. And you start getting the sense that the longer you talk to this person, and given their knowledge of Dunamancy and their knowledge of that, this is less a person who's very, very, very good at using undead magic, and insanely good at fighting undead magic.
Thank you again, but we have work to do.
You do, from what I understand. I'm not going to fight Duke Salto. I like living, so...
We can slap Duke's Aldo.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's you've literally just explained why this guy is perfect to fight Zolto, and then made him say, "I'm not going to go fight Zolto."
You're exactly right, because he knows Duke Salto and knows what he was like in
Only-
real life, and is not about to fight that.
The actual commonal trait of the Archmages is that they are the most powerful living wizards because they look at the stuff that is insane, they should probably fight, and goes,
But I'm smarter than that.
no.
Intelligence
and
is
all
the
the other wizards have
Yeah.
died.
That's the difference between sorcerers and wizards. Wizards are smart enough to know when they shouldn't fight something. Sorcerers
Yeah.
just go,
Crowing.
yeah, look, exactly.
The
Look what
Archmages
happened to
actually dropped
Legacy.
some points in wisdom, and that's why they're still alive.
It's very much a current Endwalker thing of like, hey, we're here, but no.
But no.
Nah.
No.
I ain't touching that. I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Why do you think I
No.
stayed right this long? Right.
Go to bed.
Let's go.
Okay,
You
that's
I
the next.
I have a request.
You have a request, darling.
Is it possible for Lo, once he sees that Kika and Posey have essentially guided King up onto basically being her consorts, guiding her through, Lo would sort of awkwardly shuffle around for a bit, sort of, I'll catch up, whatever. And, sir, I've got a bit of a weird question. If
Who are you
that's all.
talking to? Are you talking to Crowin, or are you talking to Athistus?
The Dunamancy mage.
Athistus.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir. I've got a bit of awkward question, if that's okay.
I assure you, you are not the most awkward thing to happen today. Please continue.
Thanks.
It's not a high
So, So I technically have about 7 years of memory just gone. Just gone. I mean, it's funny story behind that, but are you? Look, I don't really want to know exactly what happened, because frankly, that's a long story. But maybe could you have a look and just
He just like extends out and just like puts a hand to your chest for just a second, like to one side of the sleeve. Young man, I'm going to be very blunt with you on this. Regaining memories, especially if you've had dealings with the Fae, just like points at you. The issue is that over durations, trying to gain all that back all of a sudden is a flood of information all coming at once. What I'm going to say is, it is possible to do. However, that requires a spell called Greater Restoration to do so. What I'd recommend is you now have 2 Archons with you. Let them slowly and gently assist you in this matter. Essentially, rather than breaking the dam and letting it all flood, letting a bit come out, let a bit come out, let a bit come out, so that it does not wash you away. Because I believe you have things to do over the next few days, and I don't think you want to be comatose for about a week.
Yeah, but I don't really want them back. I guess I kind of just was thinking that maybe you could have a look, and then what I'm basically asking,
See what the water is like in the dam and see if it's worth opening or not.
something like that. Yeah.
You can just see for a moment, just like puts 2 fingers to like the index finger and the pinky finger to the forehead. And you like kind of lean your head back.
By the way.
Just like leans your head back, and as you're like, thank God. And just like stops for a second. May as well make him wrong. That's your 4th natural 20 tonight, you motherfucker.
Oh
God.
You motherfucker.
Do them actually be like that, you know?
And it's with the gold dice. Okay, he said, I'm not fighting Zalto because he knows he's been rolling so well tonight, he's gonna die when he fights Zalto. He's gonna just explode. Just see for a long period. And just like your head comes back down. It's not even been a minute for you.
How's it looking?
Our experiences make us who we are. Even if you don't take pride in what you did, how you were, they're your memories and they're a part of you. Just because you might not like them does not mean that they define you. Believe me, I know that part very well. And I think 1 or 2 of your friends know that as well. That's why I mean slow and gentle. What was done to you does not define you.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. I needed that. Lots of confusing things.
And your young associate there is definitely helping you. And Puck just looks up and goes, "Don't make me do another midnight on you. I'll do it again, I swear." And the third just goes down and goes, "Nope. I get the soul because I walk away from people like you." And he just turns and just leaves Puck, and you're like, "You never walk away."
Just a small
I'll
thing
give you
though.
dark years again, I swear.
just a small thing though. Tresums.
Crone likes cats. And you just hear Crone in the corner, just like, you don't see Crone, you just see a mound of Tresums. And he just goes, "Heaven, I'm in heaven."
Varus just runs over to it and dives headlong into the
Into a pool of
cats.
Like you just like surf dive into it, like you go into a bank of snow, but it's just cats.
Never mind. Just bear in mind when you've got, you know,
Then
pucks
use
around.
use trickery, use mischief, and use illusion. Fuel him up. Let him stand on his own 2 feet.
Thanks for that. Yeah, that's what I meant to ask. Yeah,
Go with your
sure.
friends. Varish, you're meant to go with them too.
Oh, I'm coming. Okay, I'm coming.
And actually, as you realize, he's not calling him Varys, he's calling him Paris. Fake Varys.
Oh no.
Paris.
Can Varus do a sleight of hand check to sneak a kitten under his coat?
Go ahead. I swear to God, if he rolls again.
Oh, make it a
No,
torty.
he rolled it.
Please make it a torty.
Okay. He rolled a 16 plus 2.
Oh, damn it.
So you see, as you begin, like, kind of like lean the cat in, he just extends it out to let the cat go in where they belong. Go on, off you go.
Right.
And you guys leave. Essentially, at the end of the corridor, Legacy is waiting for the other two to show up with Varys. Actually, no, Legacy would have taken you all because Varys was with, and Varys could take down. You, the rest of you all, appear in a tavern.
Ah.
It is a relatively empty tavern. Yes, Whittick.
Is it the same person that's normally there?
Let me just tell you. I have to make sure I do this right. But I don't want to forget my point. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I can see their name here, so just give us a sec, okay? Where the fuck are you, you son of a... You're a bastard, get back here. Fuck, I shouldn't have hid your quests from old. Still have them. You can just see that there's an older, let's see, where are they? I believe they're a half-orc.
Yeah, I vaguely remember.
Yeah, I
them
remember
being
it's a half-orc,
bigger
yeah.
character.
Yeah, it's a half-orc. One arm is prosthetic from the bicep down after a certain spider attempted to kill Crowan many years ago.
Yeah.
If anyone wants any consolation, Nesnor absolutely got his shit slapped by an iron golem. You guys arrive down. As you're all there, Legacy's kind of just in front of you on her backs too, and she just extends out her left hand and a bottle just goes whoop, straight into it. And you can just see this older orc. You can just see that there's like essentially like a pulled back kind of hair to them. Gray's just streaked throughout. There's gray's tufts just here at the tips of the beard, and the tusks go up and have these 3 beautiful little gold rings down the sides. Ma'am, pleasure as always.
I give him a nice little wave.
Hello, Whittick. My most regular customer who doesn't buy anything.
I put money on this counter. There you go. Sorry.
Your boss usually pays for everything, so you know don't have to worry. It's me ripping the piss in you, bud.
Well, he's gone right now. Anyway, I'm off to the shop. Bye.
He'll be back
Start walking
later.
out the door.
Like, you can see entirely on face, he'll be back later. He just like waves a hand. And you all begin making your way towards Roman Norman's shop. Nerwin, would you like to describe?
Yes. So
If we find a simulacrum of Roman in here, I'm gonna be real mad.
he was a very heavy drug user, so he never thought of a simulacrum. I'll be honest.
Thank God.
Varys
Because
wouldn't teach him.
all your like goods would have been smoked while you were gone.
Yeah. Anywho, so as we go traveling through Everland, actually, I'm pretty sure I had the shop pretty close to the
Yeah.
tavern because
pick
of the fact of he was Harper, and it was just basically another little like meeting point nearby.
Mhm.
As we get to the shop, you see a big sign, "Home of Defender," or basically, or along the lines of basically Roman Nomarin, shop of inquiry and potions, and basically little like TM sign that says like, or a little TM, and then like Master Potioneer of Defenders of Faerun.
With
Or
a little
Moon,
like little asterisk at the very top, and then like you just see like a little fine print at the bottom. No refunds.
Moonpig. Yeah.
Moving on there, yep.
Yeah.
Moonpig at the bottom.
Front of it, very, very nice looking. Still kind of that aesthetic of like not getting to like not medieval, but like kind of looking a little bit more modern, but not really. Like that is aesthetic at least. And out of my bag, you will see Roman pulls out a set of key rings, or a key ring. No. Ah, yes, the full gold key with like a little Roman figure at the base of it, where it
He's
goes.
so extra.
He was, but it
He
looks
is.
like a regular key otherwise.
Fucking dead now.
Yeah,
You heard it
probably.
here first. He's dead.
Anywho,
I said is, not was.
open the door. Inside.
Does it smell like too much incense in here?
It smells like too much of something trying to cover over the smell.
Yeah. It is that of yeah. Oh yeah, you guys are naturally able to smell. It's probably gonna be horrible for you guys for a minute.
You see Legacy's already pinching her nose.
By the way, this whole time King has been using loyalty for support because just there's too much
fine,
flesh on
it's
this new
fine.
body.
So the social support bard.
But King says, "I already feel like shit." Or more
As we
accurately,
walk,
I feel like a
Milady, I think you've more than deserved a rest. To be honest.
more accurately, I feel like a water skin filled with meat chunks.
Bearable, isn't it?
Human?
Another reason why you probably need a rest. And again, I'll say it again, milady. You've
Welcome
more
to the
than
living.
deserved a rest.
the front of the shop is very much a shop. Wittig will say, do not touch anything in that glass case, that one, or that one. It's pointing to like 3 that are kind of higher up.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones, I was the one put the stuff up there mainly because of Roman. Don't touch those ones. And I will be right back as I go through a curtain. You hear some beads, and then
The big curtain.
yeah. Well, there's like a regular cloth curtain, but then just
He couldn't
behind
just
that is
have one
beads.
curtain.
No,
He
no.
had to have multiple curtains.
I just love the idea of Winnick being like, I know what will stop Roman high cabinets. His mood.
Yeah. He could take the effort to, use
Cast
a big
fly.
Spell.
cast
Will
fly,
he?
do this. No. He's like, fuck it, whatever. I ain't even bother with
I'm
it.
too high for this.
Yeah.
That's too high for how high I am.
Yeah.
Milady, you thinking about it, probably not worth you coming in here.
Well,
I
you guys have to
find
come
this-
in for the teleportation. So I can say
I
that.
find all this stuff fascinating. I would love to have a look at it, but At the moment, this is going to be the most spectacular shop I've ever thrown up in if I don't keep moving.
Fair enough.
Have you ever thrown up before, King?
Yes,
Really
but
wouldn't recommend.
there wasn't
Oh,
as
by
much
the
to
way,
throw up.
going to say, King is still drunk because this was the same night you guys got pissed in
Oh
Fandom.
my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
I've had a day.
You've had a
Yeah.
day.
This has been the longest fucking day.
Why does this keep happening? To be fair, she now has more body to metabolize it.
We found
Okay,
out about
okay.
Pox this morning.
Renara will just do a quick lesser restoration on King.
King,
I
You know what,
previously today I had like half the amount of intestines, but somehow they were still all connected. Now they've been reconnected to a whole new set of intestines. My stomach is not happy right now. The ground is settling on these foundations.
Milady, rest.
Whittick.
So you will hear Riddick kind of. No. No. Ah! Got it! Put the stuff back. Heavy chest close. Alright, here we go. Who's ready to go to paradise?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
that's
yeah, the
ju-
pocket
that-
dimension,
that's just
you're
kind of what
just gonna
he
kill
called
us.
it, but. Alright, everybody hold hands. Technically doesn't have to. It's just in a inner monologue. Technically doesn't have to be holding hands, but it's just fun that way.
Legacy has her arms folded. And
That's
then
fine.
Garrett just like reaches out a hand on one side and just goes, no, you must contribute.
And then just like a cane, just kind of knock it on the ground. Boom, boom.
And then just a flood out. And in that moment, you guys all find yourselves in.
Because Wittick was actually thinking of this on the way to the shop. Normally, it would just be a workshop with some things in the background. But Wittick's going, we got bird. We actually got 2 birds. We got a feet. So there's like a small little pocket of this like big room, and each little socket is made for each person, all individually and perfectly aligned to that person. Lo is a mix of this and of the newer Fae of the red, but as well as just bardic inspiration and music playing. Same with Kira. Karik is
Daydream,
a,
everybody.
Ooh.
Oh, you got it wrong in a different way. You got
no,
Karak
I was
mixed up.
saying Karik, and then Karik, but I choked on a little bit.
I know. I know
Kirok,
people
Kirok,
want to mix
Kika.
up Kika and Kirok. No, Karak and Kirok. That's a new one.
Take a
Yeah.
shot.
Bless you.
But yeah,
Thank you.
and then next to Lowe's is Carrick's, with also more music and bardic things. Then it is Kika with small like magic like flow of a hammock. Then Poe, kind of a mixture of the nice and bright pinks with a nice dark undertone.
Just on a rooftop.
Yeah, with a small fake moon in the middle of the roof. Then next to that is Renara with a very holy aesthetic, but with bits of flame. Yeah. And then Legacy. Mine is just basically in the middle, just a small little podium where I sit on.
Like a suit of armor. Like
Yeah, just
Wait a minute.
good.
Are you basically describing the equivalent of a fantasy capsule hotel?
yes,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah.
And each
That's
each
adorable.
capsule is made for each person.
Welcome to Hotel Everland. Such a lovely place.
And also because food and water is available as needed, there are basically echoes, I guess, in the sense of it, of people that we have seen and heard of, in terms of from friendly, familiar faces who just kind of come around, basically like, would you like anything? Do you need anything?
Poe has a heart attack.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Poe. They're just echoes. They're not actually people.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sir, request, please.
Yes.
A cookie for my esteemed colleague here. He's deserved it.
Who brings it? What echo?
Roll a d6.
Aaron's rolling
Roll a
dice.
d6.
Oh. My D6 is stuck in here.
Three. It's Roman.
Hey.
An echo of Roman is like, hey, how are you? Hands it the cookie. Serenus. My darling
Yes.
boy. With your absurd details, because I do believe you do have the observant feat, don't you?
I do.
Which he does as well. But
yeah.
the difference is that he has a +4 to his wisdom, and then that, so he has a passive perception of 19.
That is correct, yes.
Yas.
He hears all.
Oh god.
Please.
Oh god.
You hear, as you're in this moment, everyone begins sitting down, and there's a few bits of talking. It's a few little bits of chatter from everyone as they're all like, I want a cookie, I want this. The sound of running. Very faint in your head. That's all.
Kind of look around into can I discern which direction it's coming from?
Make God damn it, Blue.
I'm sorry, what happened? Because my whole thing just froze for a second.
He hears people running.
Fucking hell. Serenus.
Serenus is like a little
Is
exclamation
that the
mark.
highest modifier in the entire party? Of 9?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
not
higher
even-
than things in
Hey,
which
hey.
I have
Oh no!
expertise.
No!
Hey,
You've
Bear
just
in
so you
mind, I'm
know.
going to say this.
No!
Not proficient.
Yeah, I'm not proficient in it
He's not
either.
proficient.
Just a little look at that there.
That
Anyway,
is a druid
continue,
and
Das.
a +5 passive perception.
Oh boy.
Which, by the way, I know you've kind of added it a bit wonky. It should only be a +4 to that.
Oh, should
because-
it? Whoops.
That's what I was just
You
checking.
can
Yeah.
amend. You can amend your passive, but you don't have that to your total. You have your passive is at 19, which is still redonkulous. But your normal checks when you're actively trying is only 8.
I did just add it automatically
I'll-
from the system, but
I'll
yeah.
amend it. I'll amend it for yourself because
I'll get to it after.
You're good. You're good. I saw it. I was curious. So in this moment, you hear it from everywhere. But as this is going on, Legacy pulls out the spire because you have something you want to do.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot this is when we came here.
Oh yeah, we were going to do this here.
We were using it for a long rest hack, but also
To do this,
Wait, what? Were you supercharging Varus to try and destroy it, or?
potentially, Serenus. The echoed footsteps are reverberating from the spire.
Oh!
Mm.
You hear 5 sets of footsteps, distinct from each other.
I'm going to.
Actually, no, you hear 6.
Okay, I'm going to slowly walk towards closer to the noise, so to the spire
To
itself.
Legacy. Yeah, Legacy's holding it.
gonna walk a bit closer to Legacy then. See if I can like, just see if it gets louder as I get closer.
Like a magnet detector, like a metal detector. Just in your head, it's like a. As well as hearing the 6 running, with that natural 20, which should only be a 24, just to say it as a point of fairness.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine.
I'm just clarifying it. You also hear 2 sets of wings in there as well.
I'm just gonna like slowly turn to the group. Does anyone else hear that from the spire?
No one.
The spire?
No one hears anything.
You hear things from the spire?
Yeah, what?
Dude, explain.
I
Spire
can.
is it that Legacy has?
Legacy has
Evocation.
The evocation.
because you gave her evocation.
Yeah,
No,
I can't remember.
No, it's transmutation.
She has
100% you
transmutation.
didn't.
She has
That's the first
transmutation.
one.
You have evocation.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
invitation in the bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like as Saren is speaking, he's like inching his way closer and closer to it, like kind of like trying to understand more of what's going on. I can hear footsteps running. 6 pairs. Maybe wings flapping. It's definitely coming from the spire.
King strains herself up and says, does that mean they're coming? If
Is
it's a
it-
connection to the other side, does that mean their forces are coming through?
Is it getting louder?
Yeah, do I feel like it gets
The
louder?
closer you get to her, the more definite you're hearing it. And I'll say this, it's the easiest way to describe it. It's not like it's something which it's not generating. It's like this is the end of a cave and there's a sound coming through the cave from somewhere else. It's like there's echoing through it, like it's like a microphone picking it up and reverberating it out through a speaker.
Okay, yeah. It's not necessarily getting louder. It's more like I'm not too sure. I feel like Serenus is very confused at this point. He's like kind of puzzled himself, like trying to comprehend what he's hearing and things like that.
Can I make an Arcana check? Because just to run this concept by our DM, we're in a pocket dimension. These spires draw magic out until it's empty, and then is supposed to open a passage from here to there. Sorry, go ahead.
I throw something out above table because I wouldn't work out in character, but I think because we know that the necromancy spire is attached to the soul of the soul forge, so that's a specific place. We don't know where the hourglass room is, and Prosperity didn't know. So if they're still in an hourglass, if that room is somehow connected to the transmutation spire, it could have been in the same way that the necromancy one allows the soul forge to work, like that establishes that connection between those two things.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the thing that makes the hourglasses work, or is a connection to that space.
Yeah, what I thought was happening, again, above table, I thought that this was the multiplanar equivalent of putting a glass on the wall and then
That's
having the
also
sound reverberating
That's literally
back.
what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's why.
Yeah, why is it happening?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that the hourglass itself might involve a pocket dimension itself. Because if you think about
It
it,
is.
Time loop
It is.
pocket dimension.
Yeah.
We know that for sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
time's
so
been tied in a loop
Yeah.
inside that pocket dimension.
yeah, so that's
Just-
partly. Oh, sorry.
No.
You want to let her go, Nerwin? You don't want?
Yeah. I can wait.
You can wait. Go on ahead, honey. Continue.
My theory is that the boundaries between these pocket dimensions is a lot thinner than what we actually think. And I'm going to be used, and it's sort of like the weave is a little bit thinner here than what it would be in the material plane. But again, this is working 2-second formed theory on that based
Well,
on what's
It
just
makes
happened.
sense that the weave is thinner there because that's literally what the spires do. They wear away at the weave. They draw us in. So it makes sense to come to that conclusion because that is literally what they are designed to do. In essence. What were you going to say, Narian?
I'm going to mentally order the Echo of Roman Nomarin to touch the spire.
All the dimensions fold in on themselves and collapse.
Throw science at the wall, see what sticks.
Well, that's Varys. I thought that was Renara. I
Yeah,
was like,
no,
what
that's
the
Varys,
fuck?
don't worry.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking of Arcana checks, why don't you make one? King. But you have one level of exhaustion.
Yes, I've got disadvantage.
Yep. I will check just in case it can be removed by
God, I wish I was playing a wizard right now. Keep trying to do things the kid can do.
Varys is gonna say,
I'm going to use my restore balance on that, making it a normal roll.
Okay, so that would have just been a 24.
Varys is gonna quickly
have
say,
expertise now.
so have we?
God, I wish that were me.
Is this the first time you've heard the noise? Why here? Why didn't you hear it outside of here? The hourglasses are a pocket dimension. So is this.
As you guys were talking, and Widdick, you have control. You make Roman just like come towards it and kind of like Legacy just like lets it, and you just see it just like hovers in the air for a moment, and Roman just reaches up, and the hand, which is an intangible thing really, but can hand you things, becomes tangible. Touching it.
When Roman grabs it, Varys is gonna go over and grab it as well at the same time.
Okay. As you guys are doing this, you just begin hearing, and you can just see the metal of the spire begins untwisting, unwinding, in place.
All right. Seeing this, I order the rest of them, of the defenders. Go, touch.
All of them tucked in. King, you're making an Arcana check to try and like discern this as well. The idea that the unleashing of so much built-up magical energy, even though it's been kept either in a pocket dimension, in a bag of holding for a long period, or it was kept by yourselves for a long period, out in the open, the spire just begins unfolding, and you all begin hearing 4 sets of footfalls and 2 wings flapping. 2 sets of wings flapping. Carlos, I can't hear you if you're talking. And there's a moment where you all kind of like are looking about, and then you look up, and you see 6 figures. 2 are flying, 4 are running. In place, but running forward. They don't seem to see you. They don't seem to notice you. That is until you can see they're running and they move slightly and then they reset. They run, they move slightly, and they reset. You see a blonde dwarf with braided hair, thick beard, tattoos that go up to the side in curling green and down about the brow. You see a slightly pink-hued tiefling in a full set of armor with a corset, wielding a large sword running right behind her. Next to them, then, you see two figures flying. Kaerk and Kika immediately recognize. And then you see, running at the back, Roman Nomarin and Varys Valorin, who look directly down at all of you, but only they two do. Because when I rolled this initially, back when I started this campaign, I let them make 2 Arcana checks as they were going through. Varys rolled a 16 plus 11. Roman rolled a 19 plus 3.
How far away are the images of...
You have a realization. Those aren't images.
At this point,
Well,
both
I'm with-
Kika and Kayak are like instinctively starting to like flare out their wings, like the pair of them want to take off.
And I grab Kika.
You reach out and you grab Kika.
How like higher up above are they? Like how far away are the
About
images in the air?
90 foot up. Varys and
Varys
Roman
are
can see you.
Varys is going to cast True Seeing on himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
Should
to
happen.
Serenus will, while looking up at it, still confused, I'll just take out a normal stone and see if I can just throw it up to the images itself, up into the air.
Varys. So you throw the stone. Roll 2. It'll be a very difficult check. I'll just say make an attack roll. And the DC in my head is what you have to beat to hit it, because it's much further away than you can actually throw, and it's just a normal stone.
Wait, it's just normal stone, so what would I be rolling actually?
Just roll. Use your magic stone as a point of it, and I'll just say that that's your skill with throwing a rock.
Okay.
Varys, you cast True Sight.
Serenus only rolls 20s today.
Yeah.
My god, man.
Varys, you're looking up. You can see them. There is no magic on them aside from their obvious effects. It's them. And just beyond them, you can see that stone go shoot and actually seems to go through something. You see a hole. And as that hole breaks, all 6 figures stop and begin looking around. Behind them, Varys, with your True Sight. But they're essentially, it's you guys on the ground, up 90 foot, and then beyond that again, you begin seeing cracks of electric or arcane pulsing as if something's trying to get in.
That's something I need to do. So the images are 90 foot away from us, you say, yeah?
Kira, Ashk, Glory, Romanin, Varys. 10 seconds ago, you ran through a portal to try and save Audacity and Prosperity, who were being dragged away by Gith. You are looking around. You feel solid beneath your feet. Just no wind rushing past you. Romanin recognizes this immediately. This is the effects of your private sanctum. You all look around. You look down. You immediately see Wittek, Kirok, Kaerk, Legacy, and several others are with them. Varys, real Varys, Roman. You begin feeling like an arcane force is trying to force its way into this moment, into this scene. A force you felt a minute ago when she cast spells in the city. And that's where we're going to end this session. You wanted a fight, kids? I'll give you a fight.
Yeah, sure. Let's fucking do it. I'll go right now. Let's not end this session. I'll do this right now.
Yeah.
The druid
I'm gonna
just
stick to work.
broke
Let's keep
a
going.
very intense time loop reality jumping thing with a rock.
I would expect nothing less from Serenus.
Hourglasses have an AC and a hit point.
Yeah, a magical weapon. You need something. Yeah.
It's a magical weapon. My fucking god. The mad lad fucking did it. Okay.
Not gonna
Thank
talk.
you all.
Use a rock.
Thank you all so much for watching.
I'll live with this, I guess.
And I hope to see you next week when the defenders of Faerun and a bunch of children potentially engage the Queen of the Gift.
Oh shit, we gotta level some people up.
Yeah, I got level 4 so much.
See you around, guys.
Bye.
Farewell.
Bye.
Hey.